Hello, I'm Laura Morgan, and I wanted to share with you a short yoga practice that's very helpful if your back is ever sore. I want to clarify that this is for people whose back is kind of a normal sore. For instance, I'm going to be leaving my Airbnb in about a half hour. I only have 20 minutes and I have a long drive. So this is a practice I would do for my back before driving, after driving, if your back's sore from sitting all day. If you have a specific injury or a chronic back problem, this is not necessarily a practice for you. You would need to have an experienced yoga teacher there working with you using the considerations of your doctor. So this is just a nice practice, and I hope you enjoy it. I like to start, so this is before the yoga practice. I have these 2 tennis balls. You can put them in a sock or a little thing like this. And I like to just roll out a little bit. So I like to start right on the back of my neck, right where the head connects into the neck, and just give a little massage on these balls just to kind of open up that area. It can get kind of tight there from sitting there, especially if you're sitting at a computer looking down a little bit. You can take however long you like with this. And then I take the balls, I'm going to basically roll it starting at the top and roll it right down, all the way down on either side of the spine. So a lot of times these muscles get kind of tight, they're holding up the body. So this is just a way to get them to release a little bit. And while you're doing this, you can start to tune in to a nice, long, smooth breath. Knowing a long, smooth breath lets the muscles know that they can just start to relax and release. This yoga practice is going to be mostly sitting and laying on the ground. So as I do this, whenever I hit a sore spot or a tight spot, I kind of can just rock a little from side to side. I also sometimes kind of lift my legs up a little bit and really let the ball get into those areas to help those muscles release. Just release any tension. You can also lift one leg up, kind of massage the back, the other leg, and just continue rolling down the back. Once you get around the kind of sacrum area, it gets a little harder, and I usually stop right around there. And then just gently moves the balls off to the side. And then let's just start hugging the knees in. Just bringing the back flat onto the ground can help release the muscles. Just gently rocking the knees from side to side. Of course, always listen to your body. It should feel like a good massage or a good stretch. If anything doesn't feel right, listen to that and just don't do that part or do something else. Bringing the arms straight out to the side, taking an inhale. Exhale, twisting the knees over to the right. Just a gentle twist of the spine. You might also feel it in your left shoulder as the left shoulder reaches towards the ground. Settling into a nice, long, smooth breath without ever forcing it. And then inhale, come onto the back. And with the exhale, twisting to the other side. Tuning in to the long, smooth breath. Practicing on your own. It can be nice to simply count your breaths, so maybe you want to stay 5 to 10 breaths in each pose. And as you breathe, see if you can think of the breath almost like a massage from the inside. You'll notice places that might be a little stiff or a little tense, and you just imagine the breath moves into those spaces. And then inhale, come onto the back. Exhale, just release your feet onto the ground and just take a moment here, simply breathing, feeling the spine supported by the ground. If you like, you can visualize or imagine that any tension simply drain out of your body into the ground. And let's cross the right foot over the left knee. So flexing the foot back. I usually have my ankle bone right below the knee. Take your right hand, thread it through the legs. Depending on your flexibility, you can grab under the left knee. If it's hard to grab, you can also use a towel under the knee or a belt. If you're a little more flexible, you can bring the hands up onto the shin. And breathing here, you might feel it in the right inner thigh. Hopefully you feel it in the kind of glutes and hip area on the right. Once again, a long, smooth breath helps the muscles know that they can relax and release. And then releasing. And you can always hold these longer if you like. Now the left leg crosses over, flex the foot back. The knee goes out to the side away from the body as much as possible. Bring the left hand up, thread the needle through the legs. You can grab under the knee or up on the shin. And then you can control how much you stretch by pulling on that knee towards the chest. And I like to not ever force it. I find if I try to force a stretch, it backfires. It's like my muscles press against it. So you just go to where you feel a stretch and simply breathe there. And after a few breaths, you might find you can release a little bit more and go a little bit further. But if not, just stay where you are and breathe. Over time, the muscles will relax and release and become more flexible. As you breathe, you can check in with your shoulders, see if they can relax a little bit more. And then releasing. Now bring the knees about the width of your shoulders and just pulling the knees in towards the chest. Think of a long spine. And hugging the knees together. Now make circles with the knees. So just little circles going at whatever speed feels good to you. So we're just massaging down the lower back, massaging the sacrum area. And then circling the other direction if you haven't done so. And then stretch the left leg long on the ground. The right foot comes onto the left knee. Twisting over towards your left. If you like, you can look back over the right shoulder. As you breathe here, think of lengthening between the right hip and the right shoulder. So you're creating more space in your back. Switching to the other side. Right leg long, left foot onto the right knee. Twisting over to your right. Looking back over the left shoulder if it feels okay on your neck. Breathing as you create more space between the left hip and the left shoulder. then coming onto your back, planting both feet on the ground. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then let's do a gentle hamstring stretch. So if you're more flexible, you can just grab the big toe and pull in. But most people might need to, especially in this first one, bend their knee a little bit. If you can't reach your toe, you can use a yoga belt. You can also just use a towel and stretching there. So you can have the knee bent. You want to feel a gentle stretch right in the big part of the hamstring muscle. And just really using a long, smooth breath. So when the hamstrings are tight, they can kind of put a little tension on the lower back. So that's why we're starting to stretch them out. And this is the first hamstring stretch of the practice, so just go very gentle. And switching to the other side. So lifting the leg up, you can use a belt or a towel, you can bend the knee. You want to feel it right in this belly of the hamstring muscle. Or you can grab the big toe if you're more flexible, and just breathing there. And then releasing, hugging the knees in, rocking gently from side to side. And once again, depending on the amount of time you have and how you feel, you can hold these stretches longer or even repeat them more than once. And now what's really nice on the back is to roll onto the side. Use your hands to help push yourself up. And let's come to the hands and knees. Spreading the fingers, make sure the crease of the wrist points straight forward. And we're going to inhale, arch the back and look up. Exhale, curling back, dropping the head down. Inhale, arching, looking up. Just waking up the spine. Exhale, curling back, dropping the head. Inhale, arching, looking up. As you exhale, curl back, lift your lower abdomen in and up. So you're using the strength of those muscles. Inhale, arching, looking up, and here you're releasing them. And exhale, curling back. Inhale, arching, looking up. And exhale, curling back. Inhale, come to the flat back. Exhale, tuck the toes under and come back into downward dog. And once again, if you have tighter hamstring muscles, you can even bend your knees a little bit. You want to really get a long back. So you don't want this kind of hunched back thing. You want to lift your tailbone up, bending the knees if you need to. In fact, you can even start by bending the knees and then straighten the legs and see if you can keep your back straight as you go. And just breathing there. You probably feel it stretching through the back of the legs. Probably feel it stretching a little bit in the shoulders. And then exhale, come on down to the knees. Relax the toes down. Inhale, arching, looking up. And exhale, curling back. Inhale, arching, looking up. Exhale, curling back, lifting the lower abdomen in and up. Inhale, arching, looking up. And exhale, curling back. Inhale, arching, looking up. And exhale, curling back. Inhale, arching, looking up. Exhale, curling back. Inhale, come to the flat back. Exhale the toes under, come back into downward dog. For a moment, lift up onto your toes, lifting the heels up. And when you do this, you'll find it easier to point your tailbone up towards the sky or the ceiling to get that length in the back. Try to keep that length in the back as you exhale. Reach your heels down towards the ground. It's absolutely normal if your heels don't touch the ground. They're just reaching down towards the ground. Focus your eyes on one point, usually around the knees can work nicely, and simply breathing there. Now we're going to inhale, lift the right leg up. Of course, you only go as far as your flexibility allows, and breathing there. You'll feel a nice calf and hamstring stretch probably on the left leg right now. And you're going to exhale, shoot the knee forward for pigeon pose. So if you're more flexible, you can bring your leg to a parallel. If you're a little less flexible, your leg might be here. You also might be lifted up like that, supporting yourself with your hands. And let's just start a moment, arching back. Just opening up all through the left side of the body. And then exhale, folding over. So you might just fold over a little bit, or you might go all the way depending on your flexibility. So once again, we're stretching the hips. Getting the hips more flexible can help release the lower back. Always using the long, smooth breath, letting the muscles know they can relax a little bit. And then come on up, tuck the back toes under, exhale back into downward dog. And then inhaling the left leg up and breathing here. And then exhale, bring the left knee forward for pigeon pose. Let's start by arching back and breathing. And then exhaling, folding forward. Long, smooth breath. And come on up, tuck the back toes under, come back into downward dog. And then inhaling the right leg up again. Exhale, bring it forward into a lunge position. And let's just right away drop the back knee down, relax the toes down, and start by arching back or opening up all through here. Let's bring the left arm up and over, stretching over to the side. And then releasing. Now stretching the front leg back, flexing the toes. So you might have a bent knee. Once again, it's just about your hamstring flexibility. So just go where you feel a stretch behind the hamstring and not where you're pushing so hard you can't stand it. So you just go to feel a stretch and breathe. If you're more flexible, think long back and fold over the leg. And come back to the lunge and step back into downward dog. And then inhaling the left leg up. Exhale, bring it forward into the lunge. Drop the right knee down, relax the toes, and arching up a little bit. Stretching the right arm up and over, stretching out the right side of the body. And then releasing, stretching the front leg back. Remember, it's fine if your knee needs to be bent. Think of a long back as much as you can. Almost like the top of your head is reaching towards the toes. You don't want to go towards the knee. You want long back and breathing there. And then come on up, tuck the toes under, come back into downward dog, taking a moment to breathe in downward dog. And then walking the hands back towards the feet. If the back of your legs are tighter, bend the knees. In fact, it can be nice, let's everyone just bend the knees and just grab the elbows and hang over. So if it doesn't feel good in your back, then you shouldn't do this part. But for most people, you can probably feel that the spine is just kind of being lengthened here. If that feels like enough stretch, you want it stretching more in the hamstrings, a little bit of stretching in the back. If it's all in the back, then just stay here. If you want to go further, you can straighten the legs. And then reaching the hands down. Let's come back out, come into a plank pose, take an inhale, and then exhale, come on down. And now coming onto the elbows right under the shoulders, Sphinx pose. Now give resistance, so I'm pulling back on the sticky mat with my elbows. So they're not gonna move a lot because of the sticky mat, but you'll feel it gives traction on the front side of the body and the lower abdomen. If this is enough, stay here. So it really should feel comfortable on the back. If it doesn't, just back off a little. You can bend the knees up if you want a little bit more. So we're stretching the hip flexors, the psoas, the hook into the front and also into the back of the spine. This is a great pose. If you've been sitting too much, it kind of reverses the position of the spine. And then come on down, just rest the head down for a moment. Now bringing the hands to the side of the chest, we're going to come up into either a cobra pose or upward dog. So you're just going to roll the shoulders back, inhale, come on up. If this feels like too much, then go back to the Sphinx pose again. You can stay right here with the hips on the ground, which would be a cobra pose. If you want to go into upward dog, you start with like the cobra. You can lift your knees off the ground and arch up. And then come on down and rest the head to the side. And now you can do the Sphinx pose again, or grab the outsides of the feet. Think of the knees and feet coming together, even if they don't, and you inhale, lift up. And then exhale, come on down, rest the head to the side. And then come on back into child's pose. Bring your knees about as wide as the mat, feet together, sit on the heels. You can sit as far back onto the heels as your body allows you, and then breathing here. And then let's come on up and come onto the back. And let's come, two choices. You can either put a hand on each knee, bring the knees about as wide as the shoulder, and just pull them in towards the chest. If happy baby pose is easy for you, you can do the happy baby pose. And try not to curl your back. You want to think of your back long on the ground. And then releasing, hugging the knees in, making a few circles. And circling the other direction. And now, the easiest way is to grab a belt or a towel and put it right around the heels. And you might have your knees bent. Probably most people have their knees bent. You're pulling down on the heels, so it's pushing this lower back area into the ground. You can also do it with straight legs if your hamstrings are more flexible. If they're not flexible, it's going to pull your body off the ground. So you want to stay on the ground, pull the heels down. So it should feel just like a releasing in the lower back, the sacrum area being pressed into the ground. And then releasing. And now cross the, so be very specific about this. Right leg goes over the left, like you're sitting cross-legged at a table. You then pull the knees in towards the chest, arms out to the side. Now you twist to your right side. So you'll notice the right leg is pulling the left leg down towards the ground. So it just intensifies that twist of the spine. And then come on back. And now other side. So the right leg is on the ground, left leg crosses over like you're sitting cross-legged. Pull the knees into the chest. Take an inhale, exhale, twist over to your left. So the left leg is on top, pulling the right leg over towards the ground. And come on to the back, hugging the knees in, gently rocking from side to side. And I'm going to suggest now that you come into Shavasana. So it's nice, I don't have a pillow here, but to put some pillows under the knees, or even if you have a chair, to put your legs up on the chair like this. It just kind of releases the lower back. And then you can rest there for 5 to 10 minutes. I am going to finish the video though, because I have to leave this Airbnb. But thank you for joining me, and hopefully your back feels released and good. I am probably going to do this practice again. I have probably a 3 or 4 hour drive back to the Los Angeles area. So if you're in the Los Angeles area, I teach yoga privately, coming to people's homes or offices. The best way to reach me is simply to reach out by text, 310-869-5766. That's 310-869-5766.